Chapter 5. At the time of the greatest experience of chaos there will be moments of discouragement and wondering if any of this material was of value. It is then that each of the members of this ground team must hold fast to the understanding that change cannot and does not happen if the old structures remain in place. Therefore it is exactly through this chaos that the new paradigm of experience will come into being, and it will not be long in manifesting. When the outline of it is held in place in the hearts and minds of the dedicated and committed humans that desire the replacement of the old with the adventure of the new, it will come quickly. There will be those who will falter, but with at least one of every cell group having the strength to hold tightly to the commitment, the cell will hold together and the focus will be held. Many have questioned how that, in the meetings of the groups held worldwide, a single statement could arise from the many dream scenarios. Here we have the necessity of invoking the Creator presence at each group interaction. In the Creator self-contemplation process, each and all are known intimately. Inasmuch as at the point of inception of the entirety of the process there is one mind, one focus, then by invoking the focus that knows itself, one focus of truth is the inevitable outcome. Through this process an experience of the oneness that has been touted will indeed be experienced. Lip service has been given to this, but what it truly is has yet to be experienced in this dimension of consciousness. It has been described as enlightenment, a feeling of being one with all. These few who have felt one with nature, etc., have not brought mankind one bit closer to each other. The Creator wants his self-aware aspects to come into a knowing through actual experience of this greatest of all experiences. When a committed portion of humanity can come together in a single focus of purpose and truly commune with the Creator energy, then oneness with each other will indeed be experienced, and a leap in consciousness will follow and will enliven this project in ways beyond imagination. As has been mentioned before, there is no reason that the Creator cannot use every situation as a springboard for greater creation. When you contemplate the above scenario, knowing the ripple effect, can you imagine the experience of this leap in consciousness spreading throughout creation and what effect it could have? Now you have a reason to believe that this is indeed an auspicious opportunity for mankind and one not to be missed. The issue of separation has been experienced throughout this galaxy in a festering of negative actions between individuals, nations, and planets long enough to be thoroughly contemplated, and it is now time to resolve it and move beyond and into new adventures and opportunities. This is a short discussion and one that needs careful and in-depth consideration. Hold this information at the center of your personal commitment for your participation and focus. It is the reason that you made this decision to take the risk of being a member of the ground crew. Chapter 6. We are now ready to begin the adaptation of the human spirit to include a greater evolution and the pivotal turn to begin the return path to the Creator than has been the current experience. These have been considered the experience of saints and most times simply not acknowledged or even known. Adaptations to the body have been made in the past within the genetics of the physical body itself and through the addition of vibratory implants. These have left a residue of effects that have in turn influenced the spiritual aspect. These changes have limited the vibrational connections to the focused source that has brought each into their physical expression. The genetic changes that were forcibly imposed on the human body were such that they have been inherently passed from one generation to the next, and adaptation has not transcended all of these. Even the implants that caused great trauma have left their influence within the molecular memories of the cells and have been retained for generations. Modern man has been programmed to deny that human ity in its present physical form is very old indeed. It has indeed acquired some changes that do not serve it well at all. From the larger aspect, the planet also suffers from similar changes that cripple its ability to function properly. It is time to bring these back into balance. Since it is apparent that neither the human body nor the planet are able to make these repairs in a fashion that is timely enough for the transitional opportunity, then help is necessary. In our previous discussions, the process of thought manifesting into physical experience using the law of intentional focus explained that thought held with purposeful intention allows for manifestation. The intended thought through visualization of it in completion and vibratory stimulation of it through emotion, held firmly in place by commitment, brings manifestation. Because the vibratory energies are at a low rate for manifested experience on this planet, the time necessary to manifest into form perceivable through 5 sensual experiences is slow indeed. However, you are further reminded of the awareness of the planetary situation that is being observed by the galactic neighbors, most of whom are existing in a higher vibrational state of existence than planet Earth. It is perfectly acceptable for the humans on this planet to invoke their help to manifest a change in the human body to accommodate the correction of the vibrational matrix of the human body and return it to its intended pattern. This request for help would require only a small number of human beings to enlist this help. It is something the ground crew could do inasmuch as they are now experiencing as third-dimensional human beings. This would allow them to be the first to make the vibrational transition and to allow them to establish the ideal, the return of the archetype as it was originally created within the galactic equations. This then becomes the second major assignment of the ground crew. It is a simple statement within the positive prayer, mediations of each member, remembering that this includes the grateful appreciation that this archetype already exists and is manifesting in perfection for each and every human body wherever it presently exists. It is important here to note that the archetype allows for evolution toward greater perfection of higher vibratory experience, and this return to the archetype will not cause a problem for those who have achieved these changes. This process allows for humanity to tap into the energies that are awaiting an opportunity to participate in resolving this situation, and provides those assisting the greater opportunity to participate in the energy transition of the cyclical spiral of ascendance. Indeed, this provides the inclusion that is desired. Participation is by invitation only, and you will be providing this opportunity. It is suggested that you contemplate the possibilities of this situation. Reread this information as necessary in order to grasp the magnitude of this opportunity for all that are involved, including your pivotal role. Each can obviously realize that each is an extraordinary being with very specific commitments to complete as the sequence of divine order unfolds in personal experience and of the planet as a whole. The opportunity to become is ripe with promise in return for focused intention, purposeful follow-through, and creational application of the suggestions contained within these communiques. Chapter 7. As each of you became involved within this focus and began the process of composing your individual thoughts to contribute a possible statement of purpose, it became obvious to you that the simple statement required to appeal to all of mankind was not simple to arrive at. In the moment of this writing it has not yet come forth. The prayer of becoming is not yet widely known. This invocation can set the stage for opening the consciousness to perceive the statement when it is brought forth. The change in consciousness by those using the prayer with diligence in their daily life is interesting to observe. When it is further combined with a conscious clearing of accumulated negative attitudes and letting go of false doctrines from the awareness, it brings about clearly detectable vibrational increases observable by each individual. As the individual vibrations increase, the ability to connect with the source of each is enhanced. The connection itself begins to enliven and allow the body to receive a greater quantity of supportive energy. It is as though this flow of vital energy has been squeezed or pinched so that the flow is barely enough to maintain life. Contrary to what is taught, without this flow of energy from the source that focused each into being, life cannot be maintained in the body. At the center of each focus of awareness and within the physical body is a connecting point that receives this energy flow. When this flow of energy is broken or withdrawn, death occurs. The more intense the negative energies that are active in the body, such as anger, fear, hate, etc., the less energy the body itself is able to receive of the already diminished flow. As these are intentionally released, the invocation of help to become reactivates the connection with each additional repetition. You, the ground crew, are the guides in the setting up of the suggested procedures to uplift your fellow humans in the very near future. It is you that demonstrate the feasibility of these proposals and have input as to the viability of these reminders and suggestions. Reminders and suggestions are exactly what these messages contain. Since most humans now are lost within the complexity of their life experience amid the programmed onslaught of overwhelming control, it is obvious without help being let alone becoming is a lost cause. The numbers of inhabitants long ago became too overwhelming to consider removal as an option. This too has been planned for the university or cell laws for balanced life, including those regarding procreation, were deliberately convoluted and withheld. Warlike tendencies were overstimulated from the natural instinctual self-defense/survival modes of behavior. The review of imbalance could go on, but that is not the point. The point is that a U-turn must be made by humanity in order to come through this experience, but the major portions of minds are programmed to reject the suggestions to do so. Thus we must reach those that are open or desperate enough to grasp at whatever straw might possibly lead them to a different possibility. Each of you determines whom these people might be and are relied upon to make contact with them in an expansive outreach effect. Meanwhile the births continue and the control program also expands its influence and effects. Within this situation, these messages attempt to give as much help as possible to assist in remembering whom and what you are and to guide each in personal adaptation and evolvement to the greatest extent possible. All this is being done through a type of dictation, translation, transcription process that has its limitations. Behind this seemingly vague yet ambitious process is the impetus of the creator-focused energy. It has seemingly decided that the self-contemplation process of control, violence, and victim/martyrdom has reached the point of resolution and transcendence. This awareness is now moving through the vibratory levels of awareness, and those in the third dimension are to get the message one way or another. Each of you is now a Rowan and has the message in hand. The question is, not can you, but will you deliver it? End chapter 7.